Welcome to the mess of Mark IV Supra engine conversion and just general recommissioning. Just sort of an introduction into what this Supra is. I bought this as a rolling shell a few months ago. It was missing a lot of parts. Didn't have the headlights, didn't have the bumper, didn't have brakes, didn't have a bunch of other bits. I've managed to gather most of the bits. I'm just missing a few little bits, which I'm just monitoring the market until those parts come up. They're not very common, or people want ridiculous money for them. The main thing that's missing is obviously the engine. As it's a rolling shell, there's no engine or gearbox, but there is diff and prop shaft, so at least I don't have to source those. Engine wise, I was considering for a while which engine to put in. I didn't want to just go with 2J because, well, one, they're really expensive, and I think for the price they're just not worth it. So I was considering putting maybe a BMW engine of some sort. I did consider putting diesel engines in, just to annoy purists. And this is, I mean, it may look fairly clean on camera, but it's not a very clean car in general. It's definitely not going to be a museum type of car. So yeah, I had various different ideas what engine to put in, and eventually this is what I acquired. Well, I acquired the full car with it. It was a 1995 Toyota Supra or Lexus LS 400, not the LS 400, Lexus 400, some kind of thing. So it's a 4.0 1UZ non-vvti engine. As you can see, some bits have been taken off. So yeah, it seems to be that fair few people have done this conversion, a 1UZ in a Supra, and the Supra one is supposed to be a fairly direct fit with some electrical modifications. So what I'm currently at is I'm taking off this stupid inlet manifold. I've already got part of it off, which is the top part. So I'm taking it off because it seems like there has been someone living in there. I have already cleaned it up a little bit with a hoover, but I need to take the full inlet manifold off just to clean everything out. There's lots of insulation and just random bits. So this is what I've pulled out from under the inlet manifold. And yeah, so my plan at the moment is to take off the inlet manifold altogether, clean it all up and reassemble it. And another thing I need to do before the engine can go into the car is fill this void, which is this piece here, which used to be a pump for the hydraulic fan. So rather than electric or just driven off the belt, it was actually hydraulic fluid driven. Don't need it where I'm going, so I've taken it apart, but I need to just remove this lip, basically make it flush, and then make a plate cover basically, and then I can reassemble it. Obviously I need to clean the engine, so that's also on the job or on the list of jobs to do. I've got some brake cleaner which I'm going to be using, and also got some sealant to redo the gasket. From my research, there's no gasket on these two parts here, on the lower sump and the upper sump. So yeah, that's another thing that I need to do before the engine can go in. As for the gearbox, at the moment obviously there's nothing there, just on the stand. The engine is on the stand. I have acquired a manual conversion, so it's a twin plate clutch, custom clutch, and a BMW GS5 gearbox, I believe. So that's also going to be going onto this engine. And yeah, I think the idea of these videos is just quick videos and just showing the more sort of solutions to the problems I come up with. So they're not going to be like the full YouTube kind of videos. They're just going to be short videos for those who might ever considered doing this before, so hopefully some people find these videos useful. Just another thing to mention is, so this is the loom that connects to the chassis. Over there is what connects to either ECU or goes to the dash. I'm going to be dealing with that later. But these are all the wires they need to get the engine running. Most of them are just 12 volt feeds, and there is one ignition wire as well. But I will show that in further videos, unless I give up filming videos again like I did many times before. So if anyone has done this conversion before and have some tips, feel free to let me know. I'm always open to hearing people's opinions and solutions to some problems. Just another thing to mention is that obviously that is from the Sora, and that just bolts up straight into Supra's shell, which is quite nice. This is the bracket that holds the power steering reservoir, so that thing there. So that's a nice bonus. The air filter housing, it pretty much matches up. I think I'll just have to make a little sort of stand there, which, to be fair, it may have been present in the Sora, but I can't remember. I think the biggest challenge for me will be getting all the interior parts working, or rather not parts, but all the instrument cluster stuff, like the speed and temperature and stuff like that. But luckily the car is pretty basic from electronics stand of view, so it shouldn't be too bad. Obviously the interior isn't mostly taken apart today, but that's because I need access to things. Also, another thing to mention is that this car has been off the road for a long time, and when I got it there was no relays of any kind. There was pretty much no fuses of any kind. I think the smaller ones were here, but none of the larger ones were here. All of this was just a mess, so I had to find various diagrams and figure out what is where. And I've got most of the stuff working, and I've looked at these diagrams so much now that I can remember what some of the relays are. And yeah, I think that's going to be pretty much it for the quick introductory video. Obviously there's a lot of work to be done, especially on this engine, so I'll see how and when I can do it. I would really love to simplify a lot of this stuff, because there's so many vacuum lines that I don't even know whether they're needed or not. There's a coolant feed to the inlet manifold. Don't know why would you want one, so I'm hopefully gonna blank it off. And yeah, there's a lot of things to be done. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.